Have you ever prayed for an opportunity with all your heart, only to watch the door close right in front of you? Have you ever wondered why life sometimes says no when you've done everything right? What if that closed door wasn't your greatest failure, but the beginning of your greatest success? This is the story of the door that never opened. A story about rejection, resilience, and discovering that sometimes life has a far greater plan than the one we imagine. There once lived a young man named Daniel who came from a humble family in a small town. His father worked long hours as a carpenter, and his mother stitched clothes for neighbors to help support the family. Money was always tight, but Daniel's parents had one dream: to see their son build a better future than they ever could. From an early age, Daniel believed that education was the key to changing his life. While many of his friends spent their evenings playing games or wandering around town, Daniel buried himself in books. He studied before sunrise and late into the night. Every sacrifice he made was for one goal: earning a job at the biggest and most respected company in the city. People often laughed at his dream. Thousands of people apply there every year, they would say. You don't have connections. You'll never get in. But Daniel refused to listen. He believed that determination and hard work would eventually open any door. Years passed, and after graduating from university with excellent grades, Daniel finally saw his chance. The company announced new job openings. He carefully prepared his resume, wrote a heartfelt cover letter, and submitted his application. Days later, an email appeared in his inbox. Congratulations, you have been selected for an interview. Daniel could hardly believe it. This was the opportunity he had been waiting for his entire life. For the next several days, he prepared tirelessly. He researched the company, practiced interview questions in front of a mirror, and ironed his only suit until it looked brand new. On the morning of the interview, he arrived nearly an hour early. His hands trembled as he entered the impressive glass building. Inside, everything looked perfect. Polished floors, smiling employees, and busy professionals walking with confidence. When his name was called, Daniel took a deep breath and stepped into the interview room. The interview lasted almost an hour. The managers seemed impressed. They smiled as he answered difficult questions. They complimented his dedication and his willingness to learn. As he left the building, one interviewer shook his hand and said, "Thank you, Daniel. We'll be in touch soon." Daniel walked home with a smile he couldn't hide. For the first time in years, he imagined a different future. He pictured helping his parents pay off their debts, buying them a comfortable home, and finally giving them the life they deserved. Every morning, he checked his email. 1 day passed, then 3, then 7. Finally, the message arrived. With excitement, Daniel opened it, but within seconds, his smile disappeared. "We appreciate your interest in joining our company. After careful consideration, we have decided to move forward with another candidate. We wish you success in your future endeavors." That was it. Years of hard work, years of sacrifice, one short email, one closed door. Daniel sat silently, staring at the screen. His heart felt heavy. Questions raced through his mind. Was I not good enough? Did all my hard work mean nothing? What else could I have done? For weeks, disappointment consumed him. He stopped applying for jobs. He avoided his friends and barely spoke to anyone. Every dream he had built seemed to collapse overnight. One afternoon, unable to bear the weight of his thoughts, Daniel went for a long walk through a nearby park. As he wandered along a quiet path, he noticed an elderly gardener planting small trees. The old man carefully dug each hole, gently placed a young tree inside, covered the roots with soil, and watered it with patience. Curious, Daniel walked over. "Excuse me," he asked, "how do you stay hopeful when some of these trees may never grow?" The gardener smiled warmly. "My son," he replied, "every seed teaches me something." Daniel looked puzzled. The old man continued, "Some seeds don't grow where I first plant them. That doesn't mean they were meant to die. Sometimes they simply belong in different soil." Daniel remained silent. Seeing the sadness in the young man's eyes, the gardener added, People often believe that one closed door means the end of their journey, but sometimes that door stays closed because life is quietly guiding them toward a better one. Those words echoed in Daniel's mind for days. Instead of asking, "Why was I rejected?" he began asking a different question. "What can I create?" instead of waiting to be chosen. Daniel realized he had developed valuable skill. The results surprised everyone. Soon another business asked for his help, then another. Within months, Daniel had more work than he could manage alone. He hired a friend to assist him, then another. There were difficult days. Some clients left. Projects failed. Money was sometimes scarce, but unlike before, Daniel no longer saw setbacks as the end of the road. He remembered the gardener's words. Maybe every obstacle was simply pointing him toward different soil. Year after year, Daniel continued learning, improving, and serving others. Slowly, his small business grew into a respected company. It employed talented people, solved real problems, and earned the trust of clients across the region. 5 years later, Daniel was sitting in his office when his assistant walked in carrying an important document. "You'll want to see this," she said. Daniel opened the folder. His eyes widened. The proposal had come from the very company that had rejected him years before. But this time, they weren't offering him a job. They wanted to hire his company. Daniel leaned back in his chair and smiled. The door he had spent years trying to force open had never opened at all, and that turned out to be the greatest blessing of his life. If that company had hired him years earlier, he might have spent his life working for someone else's dream. Instead, the rejection had pushed him toward building his own. As he signed the agreement, Daniel remembered the old gardener's gentle smile. Sometimes a seed simply belongs in different soil. At last, he truly understood. Not every rejection is a failure. Not every delay is a punishment. Sometimes life closes one door because it is preparing a much greater opportunity, one you cannot yet see. So if you're standing in front of a door that refuses to open, don't lose hope. Take a deep breath. Trust the journey, keep learning, keep growing, and keep moving forward, because one day you'll look back and realize that the door that never opened was actually the reason you found the one that changed your life forever.